Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet.
This is Martin.
And we are here talking about staying positive through challenges and some chaos.
Yes, there's definitely a lot of chaos in the news for sure. A lot of uncertainty, and
it can be stressful.
It can be stressful.
And I think coping with it, with just trying to keep your mind, your mindset has to be so positive.
Well, absolutely, and the purpose of news is to keep you engaged, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have no idea what's really true, what isn't true. Mm-hmm. So all we really know is what's around us, and
what we can control.
Well, the one thing that everybody is like noticing is how all of a sudden the planes are just dropping out of the sky and having all these crashes right as they fired a bunch of people that are like in the federal like aviation basically rule.
Yeah,
like
I was flying all last week. And the government for once that did not enter my mind. The
current government's like proudly saying like, oh, we're firing everybody. It's like, oh, you don't think that there's a correlation that's started when that happened? Planes started falling out of the sky immediately, basically. Like, so in a way, are those lives kind of on their hands? Like, of course, if you fire the people who are keeping things running smoothly to try to save a few bucks, it's crazy.
But we can't sit around and worry about that stuff.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, you don't want to take planes anymore? Some people have to take planes for work. What are they supposed to do?
Well, all we can do is focus on what's around us, and there's a much larger thing going on. You can look at each individual cases. You can look at the planes, which again I was certainly thinking of when I was.
Were you worried about it every time a plane?
I wasn't worried about it. It was just on my mind.
Well, and our mindset in the show is like, if something's not actually affecting your day-to-day life, try to just obviously don't ignore it, but you don't have to let it weigh you down and worry about it all the time if you can't control it. Like, we can't control the fact that there are those massive shipping ships coming here all the time, burning those terrible fuels. What we can do is control our actions of what we're buying and buy less stuff that comes over on those ships. But we shouldn't just sit there and worry about that pollution, because there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, it's good to be aware, and it's good to be aware and adjust your actions to it. But I feel like now these are things that are starting to affect our day-to-day lives. Like, if you have to get on a plane for some reason, this might be on your mind. It would be crazy for you to not think about it.
Well, right, but it's not something to fear, right? Yeah. Fear is false evidence appearing real, from our friend Dr. Kiyosaki.
Yes.
Robert Kiyosaki. And so that is, and the Buddhists also talk about how Kosen Rufu means world peace, but there is no world peace. There never was, never probably will be. World peace emanates from inside of us. And that's one thing I really love about the Buddhist philosophy, is that it starts with us, right? Be the change you want to be. Just like you were saying, well, if you want to use less fossil fuels, then use less fossil fuels yourself.
You really need more.
I'm getting ready to put together a garden wall in my house because the price of food is rising, and so I'm going to respond by going and growing some food, because we've been juicing a lot. So I'm going to go get a bunch of stuff that we can juice and try to grow it and see what happens. Maybe
and what about some citrus?
Absolutely. We have an orange tree and a lemon tree that are blooming right now. The flowers are just starting to come. So I'm also looking at, there's this thing called a flow hive, where you can basically have your own beehive.
I love it.
Which is really cool. It's
you'll have to ask Derek. We've had Derek Shields on the show.
Right, and I did ask him about that, and he said that it was a great beginner a hive set. If you wanted to get more into it, and you can get more into it, there's more to do. But this is just a way to have bees around the house and bees around the garden, which I probably will do. But just in the last, 2 weeks since I was gone, my yard went from looking half dead to exploding.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Well, there was a lot of rain.
Yeah, well, it was the rain and the perfect temperatures, and so yeah, it's I'm ready to see if I can grow a bunch of stuff.
Well, I love that. So you have to just focus on what you can do to make things better. Like you're saying, you're gonna now produce. You're gonna have citrus. You're gonna have vegetables. You're gonna have, what else are you gonna have in your garden?
Whatever will grow in the heat.
What about chickens?
We've talked about chickens. That's a little hard because we have a cat, and I don't know if that's gonna work well. Our neighbors have chickens.
But you can put them in a chicken coop.
You can, but in our area, their chicken coop is literally 12 feet high because it has to keep out the coyotes, because we have coyotes in our neighborhood. So
we need to find a way to grow avocados because of the tariffs. That's all that.
It's funny you say that. If I had some friends over on Saturday and they were saying, "Grow some avocados, I'll buy them from you."
Become avocado dealers in Scottsdale.
Yes, exactly. So. Yeah, I'm going to try to create basically a wall, a garden wall underneath the eave, so it gets sun, but it's really protected from that harsh summer sun. And then if it needs additional light, we'll put some grow lights under there, and then just like we did with the farm that I did that had all those high-end lettuces and kales and things like that. We did some aquaponics. So I don't know if I'll do aquaponics this time. It's probably going to be soil-based, but those are the kind of things that we can do. Getting a more fuel-efficient car, because probably gas prices aren't going down. So maybe look into some of the electrics. Toyota just announced a new hydrogen-powered vehicle that has hydrogen cells that you can switch out, so it takes like 5 seconds to refuel it.
That's awesome.
And it can go.
That is awesome.
You can go quite a long way on a charge. So there's so many cool things coming out. But what I could worry about, when I was younger, we were worried about the Cold War, and Reagan got shot, and this happened, and there was the oil embargo, and there were lines for days, like all of these things. It's been
there'll always be a new thing to worry about.
Exactly.
Remember there was mad cow?
Oh, mad cow disease.
Yeah.
And so Ebola, all these things to be afraid of, and we
got through it.
We get through it. I've spent a lot of my time in my younger days worrying about a lot of things, and that worrying did absolutely nothing.
Right.
Don't worry. I strategize. It's not that I'm putting my head in the sand. I'm strategizing. Okay, things are going to rise. What can I do to change that? Another thing I'm getting ready to do is add an evap cooler to our house, because we've seen that it's been getting a little bit hotter, and so our power bill has been getting higher. So we're looking to do an evap cooler to add moisture to the air, actually add fresh air to the house, that kind of thing during the summer, because a lot of times it's just closed up, so you don't get much fresh air circulating. So
what about planting more trees?
We call them volunteers. I've got a bunch of volunteer trees. We just got 2 shade trees from the city of Phoenix that are just exploding right now. They're Chinese elms, so they require very little water. They're supposed to grow very, very fast. And
very cool.
And my brother has a Chinese elm in one of his homes, and it's probably 50 feet tall, and just this beautiful, nice shade for his house. So, there's things that we can do. You can bitch about the fact that you have to do it.
Planting one big tree like that, though, can cancel out so much carbon output. And
yes. And what about misters? You can put misters on your patio.
Yeah, we've done that. We did that last year, so we'll be enjoying that this year. We're using there's water from the evap that we'll be using to water the plants when it goes through its cycle. We'll be capturing the condensation coming from the air conditioning, and that'll be used to water the plants as well. So there'll be an automatic. I'm going to set up an automatic thing, so it's basically plug and play, and I don't have to do a whole lot. And it's not that hard to do. Just there's things you can go buy, timers and hoses and things like that at Home Depot that aren't that expensive. So it's pretty easy to do. It's just doing it.
I love it. Well, tell us about your travels. I know you were just gone for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been gone. I was in Delaware at first for vacation, and that was pretty cool. Delaware in the winter, it was a coastal town, so it was a beach town. So it was pretty closed up. There wasn't a whole lot going on, so we really got to go where the locals hang out. So we got to go to a couple local bars. And there was
visiting family, or what was
visiting some friends and family. Some folks that I knew in Annapolis when I was there, and this was 40 years ago that I was there, and I've still maintained contact with them. I hadn't seen them for quite a while, and so that was really neat to go back and connect with them, because they're just a lovely family. And then it was the folks that we were going with, it was her sister's 45th wedding anniversary. Sorry, that was my phone. We went there to celebrate their wedding anniversary, which was really cool. And so that was just kind of spur of the moment trip. We had points on Southwest. I was like, hey, let's just go to Delaware and see what's.
Okay, I've never been to Delaware. Tell us, why would somebody want to go there? What is it known for?
It's just beautiful. In the summer, it's just really poppin'. It's beautiful. The weather's nice. The
Very
beaches
green.
are very, very green. There's not a lot of people. It's only like a little over 1 million people in Delaware.
It's a really small state, though, right?
Yeah, real small state.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can't even. It was from where we were in Delaware to Baltimore was 2 hours. So, I mean, you can barely get to Gilbert in 2 hours. So
it's teeny.
Yeah, it's pretty teeny. So so that was pretty neat.
And where'd you go next? I thought you did like a leadership.
I did.
Conference.
Then Sherry flew home and I flew to Atlanta, and there was a team that we had been working with for the last 18 months, and this was kind of their graduation from the leadership and team building workshops that we've been doing with them for the past 18 months. And it was just a super cool experience. Really, when we first met them, they were kind of a new team and trying to figure out how to work together. And they've been through some tough times. They've been through some good times. And after 18 months, it was just really neat to spend time with them. They were so tight. The camaraderie was just amazing. The levity at which they approach, because they still have some very serious issues that they're dealing with. They have manufacturing facilities in Canada. They have them in Mexico. The tariffs are going to have a huge impact on their business and their competitors' business, and they're trying to figure it out. And they're not.
Were they staying positive?
They're staying positive. They're seeing it as an opportunity. They're seeing, whenever there's chaos in the market, there's opportunity to get more business if you're smarter and faster and can maneuver. And that's what we teach within the leadership, because if these folks can communicate and get past their worries and BS, because if that takes up all your mind share, then you can't focus on the issues at hand. You don't get anything done. So teaching these people how to be aware of it, but basically ignore it, other than how it affects their jobs, and then be able to work together and happily brainstorm about, this is just the next issue, a next thing that we have to solve, because they've been solving issues like this since we've met them. One thing after another. They've had tornadoes, they've had fires, they've had all sorts of crazy stuff go on near one manufacturing plant or another. They've had people who passed away, in the company, that's had a huge impact on everybody, right? So we have to navigate those things regardless. And as leaders, not only do we have to take care of ourselves and our family, but now we're responsible for, some of these folks are responsible for thousands of lives.
The tough part
that work there.
Tough part too is how nowadays there can be like larger issues that might not affect your day-to-day life, but if you like really care about the planet, you feel like obligated to try to do something about it. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's just been this massive wave of deregulation, and they're trying to make it seem like it's just all good. But if you care about the environment at all, some of it's been really, really bad. Like it used to be like totally federally protected. You weren't able to drill or do any type of mining in like the protected national parks. They basically deregulated that. So like, and if you look at the amount of square miles that are protected, it's a tiny little fraction of a percent. Like so the fact that they're trying to potentially do mining or drill for oil in already a small percentage of the land that's protected, that's like just straight up like evil. Like, how can anybody justify that?
Well, they can't, right?
Well, all we can do though is try to raise awareness and get people to like call those politicians and basically leave them messages saying like, no, like we do care about the environment. We don't want everything to be gutted and mined and just totally pillaged. Yeah,
certainly.
It's depressing too. Like, think of how sad that's going to be if like in 2 years, if you try to go to like Yellowstone or another beautiful national park, or like, oh look, there's a bunch of fucking like power windmills or like oil drills or something in this one area, the one area where we're supposed to be able to go and enjoy the wildlife and nature, which is really important. And I don't know, that's always been a theme of this show, is trying to be like protecting the environment.
And how much can they really get done you know.
Unless you go up there and you tie yourself to a tree. I mean, there's really not a lot that you can do.
Well, all we can really do is try to fight for those
yourself.
regulations to come back.
Yeah, but what are you going to do to fight, right? I mean, we've always encouraged
just call
on this show
whatever
to get
politicians
involved,
we can.
Right? Certainly get involved. Get in. Start supporting. The candidates of your choice. Start telling them what you want to hear, but. Sitting around and worrying about it, I think what we're really talking about isn't going to do anything. I'm not saying don't take action.
Yeah.
I'm saying take
Don't
action.
worry.
Take action
joy.
and then forget about it if you can.
Well, right. Take action with joy. I mean, this is it's a way of reframing things, because there's a way of looking at things that it's being done to me, and there's a way of things that it's being done for me. And I'm trying to gravitate toward it's being done for me. It's being done for me to grow. It's being done for me to step up and do more for myself and my family, to do getting more involved with the community. And so...
Well, this would fall into a category of you trying to do something for the world, which is not something that's necessarily even being asked of you. But just if you have the time and the passion for it and care about the environment, it's something that you should take the 5 minutes out of your day or whatever it takes to go write that email to that politician to say, oh no, I do care about these national parks being protected.
Well, and vote with your dollars.
Yeah.
Vote with your dollar. That's a big one.
One of the reasons I'm growing food is because I don't want to give the food corporations all my money. One reason I'm getting an evap cooler, one reason, is because I don't want to pay APS, which is a for-profit corporation, to make more money. So there's passive resistance, right? Gandhi won a war with passive resistance. Part of passive resistance is doing things differently, not eating garbage packaged foods that are just, that everyone's addicted to. That's what we've been trying to do, Sherry and I, is try to eat healthy. The three of us have talked about it.
Yes.
Drinking much less, eating much healthier, exercising even more than we were before. No days off.
No days off.
Jets, right?
No days off.
And so
I already did my exercise
it's in
today.
response to the world as it's changing. I know that I need to be healthy to be ready for what's coming, whatever that might be. And so far it's been great. I've had a great year. Yes, I could read the news and be completely depressed. I could be worried about this and that. And
it doesn't help anything.
I'm aware of it. I'm not happy about it. I won't say but, and if there is an opportunity that presents itself that I can make a difference, I'm hoping that I'm going to continue to choose making a difference, getting up and working a little bit outside and getting all that prepared rather than doing something else.
But it's just fascinating that like collective corporate greed, like as a society of like basically everything happening, is potentially long-term shooting our entire species in the foot. But like no single person has enough power or capability to like fix it. It's like a giant slow moving train.
Absolutely.
And there's like, we were just talking about the US like basically opening up the drilling, but in Brazil it's been just a free-for-all of them selling the Amazon to farmers and stuff. And that's the lungs of the entire earth. Like they don't know what's going to happen on a global scale once all that vegetation is gone. And also there's like a lot of species that are going extinct from it too. So but it's one of those things where it's like, what am I going to do, move to Brazil and try to like protect the Amazon myself? And like, I'd probably just get killed the first day. Well, because there's so many other powers at play. But I don't know, it's still normal for you to, if you know about those things, to want to do something and raise awareness about it.
Oh, absolutely. I and we always encourage that. And again, do it from the heart, do it with joy. If you do it with bitterness, if you do it with anger, that's going to produce more bitterness and anger. And so we can fight amazing fights without being angry about it, without hating because of it, right?
It's hard to not be frustrated at those people, because it should be common sense that we shouldn't destroy our entire natural world. Right. Like that's insane. That there's people out there that think, there'd be no problem with us just processing this entire jungle into a farm. That's crazy.
Humans have done this over and over again. The Industrial Revolution brought terrible things to different places of the world. We had to get rid of leaded gasoline in the 70s because everybody was getting lead poisoning. Probably still have it. That may be why we're so weird. Who knows?
Definitely.
Right? But there are ways like that you can think of. Like me, I can drive less, or I can stay in my bubble more. You know, if you say to yourself, okay,
right, eat local.
Yes. Shop local, eat
exactly.
local. Don't shop
Well,
on Amazon.
what I'm saying is, like, for somebody out there who is smart enough, there is some young kid out there who is a genius who can think of some, like, you know, genius scientific formula to get rid of pollution or to create new power source or something. That's the kind of thing that would save the world. Like, it will take somebody doing something big like that, but everybody can still do something on an individual level, even if you're not going to be the person to invent that technology or solve the Amazon crisis or all these other, or the Pacific pollution trash bin issue. Even if you're not going to create that technology, you can still contribute on a small scale, like you were saying, with voting with your dollars and
well, like for example, don't buy things from China. Don't buy things from Mexico. Buy things from America, right here.
Right.
Shop local. And
shop local.
Well, going back to, there's some things you have to buy international, like avocados. They don't grow here. You have to buy them from.
No, they grow in California.
Or that might be the one state where they grow, but they don't grow in most of the U.S.
Actually, my friend Lynn, she got married to her.
Most avocados.
She
come
got
from
married
South
to
America.
her grade school sweetheart that grows avocados in California.
Okay, 90% of our avocados come from South America.
Yeah, so there could be some issues around that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Gabe, can you look up what percentage of avocados come from America versus
the great avocado debate?
Yeah, let's see if Gabe can look it up. That's
a vast majority right now.
Well, and it's going to take not only buying local, but getting involved locally. That's what we were talking about earlier. Is that we might not be able to affect anything on a national or global stage, but we certainly can show up to council meetings here, which I've done. I've gone to the APS board meetings, doing what we can to make a difference.
Gabe has an answer.
About 10% of America's avocados.
That's exactly what I said.
So 10% come from here?
Yeah, 90% come from abroad.
Somewhere else.
And
So
where
that's a
do
lot.
the rest come from?
Probably Mexico, South America.
But to do the math,
Mexico, 74% from Mexico.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so if they try to stop those coming in, the price of avocados will
let's
go
become
about 10
avocado
times.
farmers.
There we go. But see, there's a lot of opportunity because of all of this as well. That's the thing that I think is what we'll see is it's all going to be a pendulum swing. Yes, things are getting worse. Yes, things are seeming worse. And there is going to be a correction. There are going to be smart young people who are going to make a difference. I just saw a cool example of this group of young folks in their 20s. They figured out that there's a pure sand
shortage, just because of like Dubai and other countries are purchasing all of the usable sand and a certain grade of sand, and so it's very hard to get, and it's increasing in price. So what they've been doing is scourging garbage dumps and getting glass bottles and crushing them into sand and then selling it as high quality fine sand.
Interesting.
Glass is made of sand, and they have colored
Really?
sand.
Or sand is made of
And
glass.
yeah, thank you. That's what I meant.
Way, yeah.
But it's
That's
purely
interesting. I did
natural.
not
Also,
know that.
just doing it's brand new. I just saw it. So there are, I believe, going to be more and more innovative things like
Inventions.
I wonder what their process is to make it that fine, to where like what doesn't create shards that'll cut you, because like you know what I mean. Usually
it's intense pressure. It's ground down to the sand size, and there's
too
different
small to
grades
even
of
cut you at that point.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, there's innovation everywhere.
One thing I didn't know about Honolulu or Waikiki Beach, I was just there last year. Did you know that all that sand is imported?
Mm-hmm.
That entire beach, because the way that the current flows,
It takes it away.
Yeah.
Right.
So that entire,
I did not know that.
Yeah, that
Yes.
entire beach is
Wow.
all that sand is artificially brought in there from Molokai and
So
from the other
there's-
islands.
Yep.
But it's a super expensive and fascinating process, and it's one of the reasons why Waikiki's like kind of expensive, because they have to pay to keep that beach like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because it feels so nice and looks so perfect. You're like, oh, this is just a slice of heaven, but it's technically a
it's
man-made
manufactured,
beach.
right?
Yeah.
And Dubai has a bunch of man-made islands and beaches, and they've imported. That's why there's a shortage again. So, I think again you're going to see, when people go to Yellowstone, and there are millions of people that go to Yellowstone, and they start seeing oil rigs out there, or windmills and that kind of thing. I think you're probably going to see a different type of reaction, a different type of uprising.
Yeah.
And we may want to be a part of that. We may not want to, but I have faith that what's happening around me and the good karma and the good vibes that I'm putting out are going to be received, and I think that's really all we can do.
I agree.
And
it's all about this discourse too, about people basically saying that we want to find that balance in the middle, because obviously too much government regulation or spending can be bad, but getting rid of all of it makes the country less safe and less secure.
Once again,
and
we can
less
only
clean.
focus on what we can do ourselves.
Exactly.
And spreading that awareness, like our show's doing right now, because we're saving the planet
One
show at a time.
That's right.
And we can maybe sing a song about it. Shall we?
Sure.
Here we go.
Who's feeling
Sing
it?
a song.
Let's feel the song.
Oh.
We can save the planet one show at a time. Oh, I like the strings.
Let me think. Well, we're all worried about what's happening outside.
Let's not worry.
Don't need to worry.
Don't be in a hurry.
In this I must confide.
Just go for the ride.
Just walk outside and take a look at a bird or a tree.
Alright, honeybee.
That's what it's like to be in love and free.
Be free.
Free isn't free, but don't pay for it with worry.
Don't be in a hurry.
Sit in a state of love and maybe have some curry. It'll make you feel good. That hot, spicy, whatever it is, making all that deliciousness, I do like it.
You're making me want some
I
wine.
know, right?
And I feel fine.
And that's okay. It's gonna be okay. That's what Bob Marley said.
It's gonna be okay.
That's right. No matter how much we worry, it's gonna be okay.
It's
until
gonna be
not.
okay. It's all gonna work. Yeah. Well, Chet, you've got a show coming up, Deep Chetty Music, this Saturday. You excited about it? Are you ready?
Very excited. Yep, that's gonna be fun.
Do you have a new song that's gonna be released?
Yeah, I'm gonna play a few new songs. Yep, it's gonna be a fun one.
That'll be very
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
Yep, shows are literally the best, most fun part of making music, for sure. Getting to play it live. So,
Who's
Yeah.
the guy that from France that's coming?
Abstract, he's really cool.
Habstract.
Yes.
Abstract.
That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Nice.
So, yep, I'm excited.
And what's his
It's
style
gonna
of
be-
music?
He has, it's dance music too, but he has a very unique style. It's a really high energy, very unique, I guess.
Is it house? Is it?
Yeah, house.
Okay.
Some
okay.
bass too, though, but mostly house.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's very.
And no techno,
No, yeah,
just house and bass.
yeah, yeah.
Habstract.
It's funny that you're learning these terms. It's funny.
Mhm.
It's good that you're getting more knowledgeable.
And how long have you been a fan of Habstract?
Probably 10 years.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he's from France.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's a big deal. What time does he play?
Probably at midnight.
And you're playing at 9.
Yeah.
And this is at Sun Bar. Is it sold out?
Not yet. It will be probably.
Okay.
Very
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Are you guys gonna be in town?
When is it?
Saturday at 9.
Saturday. I don't know.
I think we're in town.
Okay, cool. You have to go because he only plays at 12 or 1.
See, I'm not telling you. You keep telling people they have to go. That's
He doesn't have to go, but I want you to go.
So you have to understand how you
If
tell
I'm
people
awake,
about stuff.
I'll
You,
go.
you
How's
shouldn't
that?
invite people to saying you have to go. That sounds like
No.
If somebody told me that, my immediate
It's
reaction
kind of
would be
more,
like,
I see.
no.
I take it as an expression rather
Like,
than
I
a
wanna go.
command, right? Like, to me, it's
But
more.
that's because you know her so well.
It's
People
true.
that don't know her well would be
Right.
like, "You say
But
I
it-
have to go?"
But it serves her well because people, I'd say 7 out of 10 times. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fine.
It's effective.
Yes.
It's effective.
Yeah, Lauren's going. Dr. Diane's going. A lot of fun people are going. You guys
Awesome.
have to go with me.
Very
It'll be
cool.
fun. Yeah,
Awesome.
it'll be really fun.
Well, and that's what we need to be doing is going out and supporting live music, doing fun things. I had some people over this weekend that are in a painting group, and we had a little painting party, and we sat on our
A painting party.
patio.
What is that? They painted your house?
No. We had easels and canvases, and we just had black acrylic paints that just black, white, and the primary colors, and then you just mixed your own colors, your palette.
Have fun.
And then some people painted like scenes. One guy had kind of a baseball theme, so it was just it was really interesting. And it was mostly couples. And
have fun.
it was just a really nice way to relax, and a lot of talking, and it was just a really neat way to spend an afternoon. And nobody was worried about this or worried about that. It was just more of a positive thing, and it cost very little to put it on. I went to Michael's in the dollar store and got everything.
Have fun.
And also, it's important, like, climate change or AI, there's all these things that could potentially mess up society, but it's still amazing right now. It's like that Dr. Seuss quote, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." Like, this is the best time to be alive ever right now, just because it might not be that way forever. Like, still just appreciate the beauty of it now, and all these amazing, everything in our lives today is a miracle. Like air conditioning, phones, computers. These are all things that didn't exist like 150 years ago. So we literally are living this new amazing existence, and our brains just keep trying to tell us to find problems. But no, like, life is pretty perfect right now. And yeah, like, you can't just live in some like, la la land, like thinking about that and ignore the problems of like the government or politicians, but you still should be able to just forget about those problems for a little bit and appreciate how awesome we do have it. Like the fact you can get any food delivered to you from, did you know you can get food delivered to you from anywhere in the country? There's this app called Goldbelly where you can get like lobster rolls from Maine. It's so cool though.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's expensive, but it's like that's the society we live in. You can literally order food from across the country for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy that exists.
It is.
And it's awesome though. And so whenever I'm feeling down or overwhelmed by some of these bigger societal problems, I just remember that my individual life is amazing right now because of all this technology and stuff, and to just try to appreciate the beauty in the moment now. Just because it might not go on forever doesn't mean you can't enjoy it now.
Well, and nothing goes on forever.
Yeah.
There's changes everywhere. The
Yeah.
world, it was born in change, right? And so that is what is happening now is going to change.
Yeah.
We don't know what that changes.
Yeah.
We're terrible predictors of the future, even though we would love to think that we are, but we don't even know what we're going to be talking about in 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, think about it. When, the typewriter went away and, everybody got computers and laptops, some people are probably like, oh, where's this going? Or when people had a regular phone at the house and then, people started getting cell phones, they're probably like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to the world? There's going to be, things are going to evolve. It doesn't mean that it's going to be
people
for the
were
worse.
worried with the jet engines that the sonic boom would destroy all life on Earth. Like, there's plenty of fear around everything.
Yes.
And most of it's manufactured. Most of it is a perception or a story that we've made up in our head, and we don't know what's next, right? They talk. The Bible talks about God's ineffable plan, right? Ineffable means that which we cannot know. So if we can't know it, and we're not going to worry about it, then it might as well have some fun. And so
100%.
have a painting party, go to a show, Go for a walk.
Sunbar at 9 o'clock and see deep chatty music.
Get adopted by a cat. I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, it's important to just find the beauty in every single day and have fun and not let those things overwhelm you.
Well, and you can do your own. Everybody can take their life and find ways to make things better for the world and for the environment and not be wasteful. And you don't have to shop on Amazon. You can, shop at the Goodwill.
Exactly.
And buy stuff that's repurposed, and and you can carpool, and you can when you see a street that's all trashy, you can stop and get some friends and pick up all the trash and not be wasteful and not make a mess.
Exactly. In leadership, we talk about if you see issues around you and people around you that aren't doing the right thing, work on yourself first. Work on yourself the most.
Be the example.
Be the example. Mirror the behavior you want to see. Help to condition people that they can understand the whys of what they're doing or what you're doing. Be more communicative. It seems like common sense, like you were saying earlier, but it's also when people are full of fear, they're less likely to do those things. And it was one of the reasons why we do this show, is to try to show that fear is something it's not something to get rid of. It's not something to silence. It's something to be aware of and then move forward with
and be an
life.
Example.
Right.
Of doing better and making the world a better place. I think that's exactly what it's about.
It's kind of like having the faith, like you were saying. I think Einstein said that either everything is a miracle or nothing is a miracle, right? So I like the idea that everything is a miracle.
I like that too.
And so, going back to that, if everything is a miracle, then everything is really being done for us, not to us. And so all of these things, yes, we may see it in a gigantic tragedy, and it may be the thing that is the catalyst that saves the rest. So it's hard to know. We just don't.
Yeah, that's so true. You're right. Those people that are, tearing down the Amazon, they might accidentally stumble upon something that cures cancer or something. So you're saying, there's like this random uncertainty that we have no idea of. They also might accidentally destroy whatever the cure for cancer might be, though, which is more likely. But at the end of the day, there's just going to be things that we can't control, and we can raise awareness about it and try to fix it that way, but that's about all you can do with some of these things.
Yeah.
But I think also if a lot of people start having their own garden and trying to shop local and not buy foods that are packaged foods and with chemicals, and eat more naturally, and you don't eat stuff with pesticides, you eat more organic, and hopefully down the road, if everybody demands that kind of organic food, and your skincare products don't have toxins in it, then cancer will be less and less.
Exactly.
Those are the kinds of things that are causing it, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all the process stuff. So it's a journey to be healthy. It's not a oh, I'm healthy now.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gone for 2 weeks, got a little bit of hiking in, walking in, but it was cold back there, so we stayed in quite a bit, so I didn't get as much exercise. But we went out for a 2-hour.
So do you appreciate the sun now that you're back?
Yesterday was gorgeous. We went hiking for about 2 hours and went to the top of North Mountain. And
Nice.
It dang near kicked my butt, but I was so glad to be doing it.
Nice.
I went for a nice hike and enjoyed the sunshine as well. And I ended up going to spring training Cubs game.
Oh, nice.
And it was really fun. And I went with Diane and my sister. It was super fun. And we ran into a lot of people we knew. We had a really good time.
Where was that?
Sloan Park, which is right by Tempe Marketplace. It's the newest ballpark. So it's super clean, super nice. You can take a trolley from the Thirsty Lion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can go to Thirsty Lion. There's a free trolley right in front of it.
That's smart.
And then, the reason why it's smart is it takes you right up where you don't have to do any walking.
Right.
You don't have to pay for parking. And it's totally free. So, and you can get tickets for like what, $25
Yeah, they're very affordable.
Yeah, they're not expensive at all.
It's beautiful outside. Go outside, have a good day, watch some baseball.
It was packed. There was so many.
Oh, there are so many people in the valley
and so
right
many
now
young
with
people.
The, with
it was like a
making
lot
the Ubers expensive. That's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah.
Because there's so much demand right now.
Yes.
Like Ubering anywhere right now is double to triple the cost because there's literally, I think they guess it's about 10 to 20,000 people per team that come to town. So it's like over 100,000 people that are in Phoenix that are Ubering, or a lot of them are Ubering, especially.
Guess who I ran into the beekeeper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Derek was there with his wife, and he's always talking about his wife. I've never met his wife. So Derek, the beekeeper, was there with his wife, Shelley, and it was really fun. We took pictures. That was fun. And then Ralph, the manager of one of my favorite restaurants, I'm not going to say which one, he and his fiancée that are getting married in October, they were there. And he texted me, there's a rumor you're here at this game. And he texted me that, and I didn't even see the text. And the next thing I know, he's going like this, and he's waving at me. And yeah, so that was kind of fun. So really fun to see them.
Very nice.
Yes. And then we met some new friends because my sister and Diane and I, we said we're going to take as many pictures. I think we made a goal to take at least 25 pictures, and each one of us had to take turns. If we thought somebody was cute, we'd say, "Hey, will you take our picture?" And so
That's so embarrassing.
No, it wasn't. So we got a lot of photos, and it was really fun. We met these two guys, and one of them who was from the screen. Anyway, he did stuff in the movies. He was friends with Steven Spielberg, and yeah, that was fun. I had a good time.
Sounds like
it was a really good time.
Well, I mean,
We had a really good
the
time.
people that come into town, it's such a boon for the restaurants, for the Uber drivers, it's a little inconvenient for us. And
No, but we want that for our state.
Oh, yeah, it's good for the economy.
Yeah, it's great for the economy.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely happy about it in general, but it sucks when you have to Uber.
But I'm trying to be so healthy. And Diane and I talked about we were going to have a hot dog. We were really excited because I hadn't had a hot dog in like years. But then once we got there, I saw the prices of the hot dog, and I thought, I can have a nice meal at a nice restaurant after this. I can sit there and just be super hungry, or have a hot dog for this, with a tip and everything. It would have been just the same price as a nice entree somewhere. So
exactly.
We held off, and we went out for dinner afterwards, and I did not eat the hot dog. So
if you're gonna eat a hot dog, you want to have probably like a street vendor hot dog, a real top, not a ball, but I mean a ballpark hot dog.
Sometimes it'll hit the spot if you're hungry.
But $20-25 for a hot dog.
It's gonna be a ripoff. Yeah, it's gonna be a huge ripoff.
That's how much it is.
Yeah.
You got a tip,
Pardon me.
Well, and I don't know. Sometimes you have to say, I'm going to enjoy the hot dog, and then just make up for it with something else that'll cancel it out. Like if you could do some exercise, or you should do exercise and a healthy meal to try to cancel it out, really. Like I had an unhealthy-ish meal last night, and so this morning I had a acai, fruit bowl, basically.
Oh, those are
So I've had no cholesterol at all yet today, and then did a workout. So it's all about that balance. So if you did have that hot dog, you wouldn't have to beat yourself up over it.
Oh no, I ended up
make up for it the next day.
Well, but I didn't. Okay, so after that, we left the game, and we went to probably my third favorite restaurant, and there was Artie Marino, who owns the Angels, sitting there right next to him. We got the seats right next to him, and his wife Carol. He's so sweet, and she's so nice. And I'm wearing we're all wearing Cubs stuff because I borrowed some Cubs stuff. And I go, we went to the Cubs spring training. But I ended up eating what he was eating, which was they have chili, and they make it with filet. And it was so good. And I thought, I'm glad I didn't have a hot dog because I had the best chili you've ever had. Yay.
Nice.
So we have so many things to be thankful for. I'm so grateful and thankful that we do have spring training here and that this weather's perfect. And I think, once again, back to the theme of what we're talking about is how you just have to, your mindset. It's all about your mindset.
Yep.
And not letting your mind go to, you can start thinking about everything that could go wrong, or, when you see somebody, think of, all why they're not perfect, or how your family members or somebody that how they can improve. But instead you can think of what are the good things, what are the good qualities about this person, what are their not what are their weaknesses, what are their strengths, why you like them. Find the good things in your friends, find the good things in your family, and focus on that, because we can always think about negative things that are happening, or negative things that could happen, or worry about the world problems, and or we can think of all the great things that are going on.
Absolutely.
And all the good things that people have to offer. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think if you focus on all those negative things, you're going to not be a happy person, number one. Number two, you're going to be depressed. Number three, you're going to have no friends. If you're looking for, like today I was late. I was late. I tried to be on time, and the last couple times I was totally on time, but today I was a little bit late, and I don't know why, but I was. And are you mad at me?
Oh yeah, furious.
You got to focus on the good things.
Absolutely. And things happen. Life happens. And if we got upset at all the times that life happened, we would be upset all the time. One of my mentors, she would always get angry at things, like she would drop something because she's getting older, and she would get so angry, and finally a friend of hers asked her, she goes, "Do you like being angry?" and that was a light bulb moment for that person, and they said, "No, we don't." And from that point forward, really was a different person, and really changed her ways. And yes, she does still get a little angry every once in a while, but it's at a completely different level, and it impacts her in a very different way, and you can see it in just how she conducts herself. And so and this is a person who is very aware and very amazing leader, and found something new about themselves. That's what it's about.
I've been starting to wonder if the people who are all like super entrenched into politics, like watching it every day, if they all like kind of almost have a secret addiction to like that, like being like stressed or like angered by the other side. Because I know so many of these liberal people who watch these like basically updates about Trump every day, and they just sit there like seething with anger, like Chancellor Palpatine, the anger flows, and you can tell they're like just so mad. But it's weird, they do it every day. It's like if something makes you mad, why wouldn't you stop doing it? I understand you don't want to just live in ignorance.
That's a good point.
But it's an actual addiction.
Yeah,
you are absolutely correct. There's a beautiful film called What the Bleep Do We Know, and it's all about the chemistry and the science behind why we get addicted to those types of things. And it's actually opiates and substances that are just as addictive as heroin that are released.
Well,
you're absolutely right. They get addicted to it.
I think part of it is our brain. We have that natural, basically fight or flight to look over our shoulder, and that has nowhere to go now because we don't have predators anymore. We've broken out of the food chain. And so we have basically this built-in anxiety that we need to focus somewhere. If you don't know how to channel it somewhere healthy, like exercise or writing or meditation, a lot of people it'll just manifest into something like that. But
you're absolutely
it's
right.
wild. It's wild though. Both sides are just as guilty of it. They're like even the super far right side to just sit there and watch like Alex Jones or Hannity, and they're like, those damn liberals, they are trying to turn us all gay. Like, so it's weird. Both sides are basically addicted to being mad at the other side, and it's like this weird, vicious like cycle, like rat race. It's crazy. It's wild to watch it. So I have a few people I'm close to that are liberals, but they watch the Trump update every day and just sit there
and
seething. Yes. And I'm like, why do you do this to yourself? You know, there's not going to be an update tomorrow that's going to be like, oh, Trump saves baby penguins in Antarctica or something. Like, it's always going to be something that's going to piss you off. So why are you still consuming
so why watch it?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Well, it is because it's addictive, and it takes an intent to be happy, an intent to break yourself away from that.
It's a choice.
Thing. It is
to
a
be
choice,
happy
but
is a choice.
It is a hard choice.
It's
a
choice.
choice you have to make every moment of every day.
Yes.
And I've written this a couple of times that choosing to be happy was one of the hardest journeys I've ever had to choose, because you have to choose it every moment. There's lots of things that can pull me out of happiness.
Totally.
If I would let them.
Right. So for our listeners out there, you as a life coach, what are the steps for people that are listening? Because my mindset is positive, and I try to, occasionally I'll get, sidetracked,
Yep.
and I'll have a bad day, and I'm like, okay, no. And I tell myself, okay, no, you just have to focus. What are all the good things that are happening in your life? Who are all the great people around you? You think about your great friends, think about your great family, and you just, in all my blessings from God.
Yep.
And
well, there's positive people like you in the world, and there's people who walk around mostly negative in their head. And to those folks, I say, find help. Go find a coach, find a therapist.
That's great advice.
Find a super positive person that annoys you, and watch them and hang around them and learn from them. Because there's people that are so positive that they're annoying. Well, there's a reason for that. That annoyance is you, because you're annoyed at being happy. Think about that. So what if you could be happy? What if that you have everything that you need right in this moment to be happy? What if that was true? And then continue moving forward with that, and find people that are happy. Hang out with people who are happy. Don't hang out with people who are complaining and negative and
exactly.
Are
That's great
to
advice.
The drama. There's
That's
nothing you can do to help them. If anything, I've learned many things in coaching, but one thing I definitely have learned is that I cannot help people who don't want to be helped. And that is a cardinal rule, I think, for life. Is how many people have we tried to help and they got so pissed at them that they wouldn't let us help them, and they wouldn't do what we had to say, right?
I love it.
It's so easy to do that. Versus, look, that's their karma. If that's the journey that they're on, give it up to God or whoever you believe created us, whatever your belief system is. To me, it's all the same. And
to me, it's all about
be happy.
I love doing the baseball rule. You try it 3 times, but if they don't want help after the 3rd time, that's a fucking strikeout. Like, you tried. Because anybody's going to be stubborn at first if they're like truly lost or depressed or addicted. But if you've tried multiple times and then there's still no effort for them to change, then you have to move along. Otherwise, then you're just making it a problem for yourself.
Now here's an interesting thing. I'm going to add to that, because I agree with you. And the 3 times should be trying to mirror and show the person what their behavior is like. For example, what we taught in the leadership conference this weekend is that, let's say you're dealing with someone, and we're going to use your example, Chet. You've got this young lady, and she brings up her feed, and she gets all ticked off, and she complains. And
we have 2 minutes.
All right. The question is not about the complaining and not about being negative. It's, what about that does she enjoy? And asking that person, what about getting really angry about this? What does that do for you? What do you enjoy? Does it are you taking action? We call it a gentle confrontation. Is rather than addressing the content of their complaint, you're addressing the energy around.
Maybe it'd be smart to ask them, like, do you think that that's good for you? Because then they would have to literally be lying to say yes to that.
Well, and they might not realize it.
And some people do lie to themselves to enable an addiction. They go, oh, it is good for me. Like, what the fuck? It's fine.
Right. And they may not answer your question.
They're just not choosing to be happy. They don't want to be happy.
Right. But that may force subsequent thought processes, right? Just because you say something in the moment doesn't mean they're going to get it immediately. Sometimes it takes me a long time to understand things.
Well, and your comment is slightly inaccurate, because some of those people think they're choosing happiness. Like somebody who's super addicted to video games, they think that that's going to make them happy. They don't understand that that's really making them unhappy. But they think that they're going to get to happiness with video games because they're so addicted to it. So it's not...
that's a whole nother show about what the definition of happiness is. That's going to be an interesting conversation, right?
To be continued.
Yes, to be continued.
Yeah.
I think that's a great topic for the next show.
So we choose to be happy, and let's talk about the definition of happiness.
Let's choose to be happy one show at a time.